All right, guys. Good morning. How you doing? Alrighty. I already spilt my coffee this morning, so hopefully that's not a bad sign of what's to come. Hopefully. But how we doing? Tuesday, January 4th, second trading day of the year. Good morning, everyone. All the familiar faces. Mr. TNT. All right. Let me see what we got here. So, yesterday was good. Yesterday was stock specific, right? It was Tesla, it was MasterCard, Visa was pretty strong. You had some fintech names move. PayPal did well. Apple, of course, hit all-time highs. So you had some good moves. The Nasdaq didn't have the biggest move, but it was a good day. It was a good day, good price action for the most part. Some choppiness still. You still saw that choppiness across some stocks. Nvidia is one that really stands out to me. Nvidia has been really weak, just very choppy, not really making the real move. And I got caught in a Nvidia pullback yesterday. So I'm starting my Interactive Brokers account fresh this year. I withdrew a good amount of money to pay myself, and then I'm going to start over with. I'm trying to decide right now. I'm trying to decide what I want to start over with. I want to maybe scale up this year, but I also don't want to get stuck in that feeling of wanting to try to reach for bigger and bigger profits. So we'll see. But yesterday I was about break even. Pretty boring way to start the year. I had a good trade on Tesla, a loser on Nvidia, and a small winner on Apple. Of course, if I held Apple and Tesla, if I just held the contracts, I would have been up a crap load. But you can't just hope and pray, right? I got to keep on telling myself that. So yesterday was sort of boring for me, but there were some good moves, and we'll see if they can continue today. So Tesla, obviously, we're gonna have to keep an eye out for. Apple as well, and the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq did what we wanted it to do, right? The Nasdaq held at 16.4. It bounced off of it. It gave us a little bit of a break and retest, and it looks like maybe this is the start to that push off that 16.4 level. It's still a little bit early to say if it's going to continue, but that is why we're here today, and we'll go ahead and take a look at that. So let's go ahead and we can wait maybe one more minute for more people to come in. Start here at 8:05, guys, Eastern. So we'll wait one more minute. I didn't pay my taxes yet, but that is going to be on the docket here shortly. I pay taxes quarterly, so we'll see what happens. I'm probably going to owe some money still, so we'll see. Fidel, good morning. I sent you an email. Let me know if you got it. I sent you the email with the code to join the Discord. Fidel is the giveaway winner, if anyone is interested, or if anyone did not know. So I sent you an email last night. Let me know if you got it. All right, let's go ahead and get started here. Futures. Yeah, SE didn't really do what I thought it would yesterday. SE, no, I'm not really interested. Guys, sometimes you look at stuff and it looks good and it just doesn't work out. So this morning, SE's not looking good. It's moving down quite a bit in the pre-market. So yeah, no more on SE. Definitely not. So sometimes plans change, right? Sometimes stocks do what you did not expect, and SE is not really going through with my my original thought process. So no more SE for me. I'll show you why today. We'll look at it later. All right, so futures, as always, right? NASDAQ, S&P, Dow. Let's get a good idea of what these futures contracts did yesterday. See where it's sort of setting up. Economic calendar. I believe we don't have much today, but tomorrow, guys, we have Fed FOMC minutes. So keep that on watch. Tomorrow, FOMC minutes at 2 o'clock. So that's going to be important. That's going to be important. So watch out for that tomorrow. Fed, 2 o'clock yet tomorrow. Wednesday, FOMC minutes. Everyone that's here, make sure you remember that. We'll also talk about it on the live stream tomorrow as well, of course. So Tesla, continuation. I think all of us want to look at Tesla. Let's look at it. Let's see if it can continue. What an insane move on this stock, man. Was it 13%? I think it was like 13% yesterday, which is just it's just incredible. Tesla's one of the only stocks that will do something like that, and it's crazy. So congratulations. I own shares, so I'm happy about that. Of course, I wish I would have caught it with options better yesterday. I wish I would have did a better job yesterday. I think a lot of us probably are in that situation, but the great thing is, guys, if you're someone that invests for the long term, if you're someone that buys shares of companies you like, you will never miss out on moves. So yesterday, obviously took advantage of it with shares. So that keeps me a little bit happier than just totally missing out on it across the board. So congratulations, guys, if anyone caught that with either shares or with option contracts. MasterCard and Visa. You guys know we've talked about these two stocks for about almost a month now. These stocks are really starting to move. So MasterCard and Visa made really big moves yesterday. MasterCard actually outperformed quite a bit. So MasterCard, Visa, must watches here, guys. Starting to break through some big resistance levels, actually. We talked about these resistance levels that they're at right now. It looks like they're starting to break through. So let's take a look at these two. Very strong. XLV, healthcare, finally cools off a little bit. So we'll look at that. The healthcare sector finally is cooling off just a little bit. And let's make sure we're aware of that. Apple, all-time highs. Yesterday, Apple hitting all-time highs, hitting a $3 trillion company. You guys know if you come here, I don't have anything else to say about Apple besides buy the shares and forget about them and pass them along to your children and pass them along to whoever you want. That's my honest opinion. But yeah, Apple's the best. I'm going to continue to buy Apple shares, and Apple's just showing why it's probably the strongest stock on the market. It has that safety aspect, and it has the growth aspect. It's just a sweet spot for a lot of investors. It's a very strong sweet spot. It's a nice mix between value, between safety and growth. It's just a place where a lot of people want their money. They have an ungodly amount of cash on their balance sheet. They are not going anywhere. So Apple, all-time highs, crazy, awesome stock. PayPal, finally finding some buyers yesterday. Actually looked pretty strong, finally. Not quite ready in my opinion, but PayPal definitely worth watching. Financials. Banks did very well yesterday. JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, the XLF ETF all did very well. Of course, the other banks as well, I'm sure. So we'll take a look at those. Nvidia lagging, very strong lag on Nvidia recently. Has not really found the price action that the rest of the market has found. Clearly weaker than Apple, clearly weaker than Tesla. Pretty weak. So let's take a look at it. And then Boeing. Boeing actually got above a pretty important resistance level yesterday, above 205. So we'll take a look at that. So guys, that's the calendar for today. After that, if you're new to this live stream, we go over the stocks that the members want to look at. So if you guys are a member of the YouTube channel, not the Discord, but the YouTube channel, you get access to. Why is this not working? There we go. You get access to this Google Docs, and you can put your tickers in. So it looks like we got D-Dog, AT&T, Ford, Disney, Snow, IWM, JMIA, and Airbnb so far. So nice little list right there that we'll go over after I am done here. If you guys want to become a member of the live streams, it is down in the comments below, or I'm sorry, it's down in the chat. It's in the chat. It's pinned in the chat. All right, guys, let's go ahead and do this. So Nasdaq. Let's go to the 4-hour, and you guys are going to see exactly what we did yesterday. So here's the 4-hour chart. What we did, we pushed higher on Monday of last week, pulled back over the entire week, pulled back right here to 16.4. And what did we do when we came back to 16.4? We retested it and found support off that level. Something that I've been talking about every single day, right? So if you hear, you should be well aware of why the market moved higher yesterday. Ike, I think that's a good. I think you have a good amount. Let's just keep it how it is. So you guys can see all of this previous resistance. And what did we do when we did a break and a retest? And it's quite beautiful. If this market actually starts to continue off this level, this is just a textbook break and retest, textbook previous resistance turning into support. This is great. So very bullish on this move. I have been bullish on this move. I love to see it actually starting to work out, and I think this continues. Now, there is one level that you need to be aware of, and it's pretty strong, and it might reject today. We might see some rejection today, and that is right here at the 16.5 area. Right up here at 16.550, 15.560. That is tough. That is definitely tough. So I'm definitely going to be aware of that. You guys can clearly see this. Let me go ahead and turn this red so we have urgency that this is a scary level. Right up here, guys. Big resistance level up here on the NASDAQ, guys. 16.560, 1, 2, 3, and all of this 4. Very bad resistance. Need to be careful as we approach this level. If we get over this level today, I'm gonna have to assume that this is the start of a big move, because there is not much left after this. So if you get above this 16.560 area, I think you have a very nice move today. If you push into it and reject it once again, then maybe there is some resistance that comes in today, and maybe we continue to trade within this channel, right? As you guys know, we've talked about us trading within this channel again, and if we reject it again, which we are already rejecting this morning, you guys can clearly see that. This morning in the pre-market, we are clearly rejecting this level. If we do push higher into this level and reject once again, then I would expect some weakness today. So all eyes should be on this 16.560. It is very clearly previous resistance every single day, last week, this week. Just right there. You can clearly see it. If you guys look at the Qs, guys, the Qs look the exact same. So go to the Qs. It's right here. 403.50. Right? It's the exact same chart. So 403.50 on the Qs is the exact same thing as 16.560 on the NQ. So right there, 15.560. That's your tough level today. Really, it's just a range. So you guys know what we do in ranges. We trade to either boundary. So if you do reject here, then I would assume you come back down to 16.4. And we see what happens within this range. If you get the breakout today, look for that continuation. So that's the NASDAQ. It's a very clear range. It's very easy to understand. Make sure it's on your charts. Do not ignore it. Don't ignore that it's there, because it's gonna act as resistance. And if the market falls off this resistance level today, don't start panicking that the market is tanking, because it is not. All it's doing is rejecting off a previous technical resistance, and it is pulling back. That is normal. That is not market's tanking. It's all over. Now, if you do break below 16.4, then you get a little bit more downside. But this is a normal resistance level. If the market cannot get through that, that's a normal resistance. Now, the ES is definitely stronger, and it has been stronger. You can see the ES is through all-time highs, which is nice, and it is pulling back. This could be the making of a beautiful retest at previous highs. That would be pretty crazy to see. If it does, the ES is very strong. If it holds here, which it sort of looks like it wants to, if it holds here at 4,800 as support, turns this previous resistance into support, that would be pretty strong, guys. That would be pretty strong if you saw something like this. Resistance into support. If you see a move like this today, that is a very strong hold there at 4,800. Not something that I would honestly expect, but it looks like you're starting to get it. So you can clearly see here on the 15-minute, you can see resistance came in, and we broke and retest and held as support right now in the pre-market right here. So watch this. If you start to see this 4,800 hold today, that's pretty big. It's really around 4,795, but 4,800 is that round number. So that's the ES. The Dow, very strong, right? Dow is, look at this move on the Dow. Just crazy strong. Awesome push through all-time highs. 36.6, I remember we were right at 36. We're now at 36.6, all-time highs. What else is there to say, really? I mean, I got nothing else to say. All-time highs. I think right now you just want to see these previous highs hold as support, right? 4 minute, 4 hour. You guys can see previous resistance, previous resistance. Now, if you look at the Dow, what you want to see happen is you want to see it hold 36.4 as support. If it does pull back, turn that into support and make a move higher, right? So now you want to see the Dow hold above 36.440, turn that into support and push higher off of it. That would be the most bullish case. Yeah, the ES looks incredible, honestly. That's pretty nice. To hold that 48 area as support looks pretty nice. So ES Dow, guys, obviously stronger than the Nasdaq. Tech is still a little bit under pressure. We've known that. We know the growth is a little bit questionable. You know, the high growth names, and that's sort of affecting this Nasdaq. So keep an eye on some of the other stocks, guys. The ES and the Dow are hitting all-time highs. Big moves. Stocks like Home Depot, Visa, MasterCard, Lowe's, Caterpillar. Keep an eye on some of these Dow names, some of these financials. The JP Morgan, look at that breakout. Goldman Sachs, Wells Fargo, some of these other stocks that are more heavily weighted in the S&P and in the Dow. Maybe look away from tech a little bit because that is where the strength is right now. So that's the futures, guys. Obviously, all look very good. Still look very bullish across the board. ES and Dow outperformance. Nasdaq a little bit behind. So make sure you're aware of that. All right, guys. Tesla. The banks look really good, by the way. I definitely need to watch those today. The financials look really, really good. Because the SPY has more, stocks that are performing better than the QQQ. The SPY has, your consumer staples. It's got a lot more than just the tech stocks. So, yeah, it's a lot more strength on the ES. So, Tesla. Let me see. Hold on a second. Is that where we're rejecting? Right in this? Yeah, it's sort of right. All right. So, you guys know we pushed higher over 1070. Or we pulled back all last week. If you guys remember, if you're in the Discord or if you're here, you remember we wanted to see 1070 hold, right? That was our key. The 1070 hold was our key. We needed to see 1070 hold. Now, we did hold until end of week, and then over the weekend we get delivery numbers, which is just, it's great. It's great for the stock, right? So big move off delivery numbers yesterday through 1188. Right? Yeah, the banks are a very big part of that strength. I agree, Stevie. Big push through 1188, pushing through 1200, and now we'll go ahead and zoom in a little bit, but I wanted to show you guys these levels, right? So 1188 is pretty big. It was a previous resistance level right up here. You guys can see resistance. We did hold that. So 1188 is big. We obviously have the 1200 psychological, and then the bottom of this gap, if you guys remember, there is still a gap here where I think you're finding resistance. So the bottom of this gap is 1216. So 1216 is the bottom of this gap. From 1216 to 1188 is this gap, right? So you have that gap there on the daily chart, or on the 4 hour. Now if we go into the 5 minute, we can see that gap fill is not quite there yet, but it's close. So right here up to 1216 is that gap fill. So make sure to have that level on your charts today, guys, 1216, to see how this stock reacts as we fill that gap. So there could be some resistance that comes in this area. But I wanted to show you today. You guys see how this thing is holding the 1188 right here. You see this little bounce pre-market, push higher, bounce pre-market. That's no coincidence, right? So that level is right here. That 1188 level is right here. So it's holding a previous resistance level here in the morning. You guys can clearly see that. So that's important. That's good to see. So that level should be a key level for you today. If you see the breakdown below it and you see it try to get back above and resist, There's your entry for a downside play, right? So 1188 is going to be a key level for you today. 1188, 1188. Keep an eye on that level, because if you push down, turn it into resistance, then I would say downside. Now, if you pull back and find a little support there, and then you try to play the washout long, that would be your very nice dip buy opportunity this morning, right? So the trade I took yesterday, guys, was right here. So I traded Tesla at 9:31 and 39 seconds. 9:31 and 39 seconds. Why did I take it at 9:31? So I was trying to play that washout long as well. So if we zoom into yesterday morning, which is right here. So I took at 9:31 right here, I took Tesla calls, and I just played this little pop. Now, I wasn't, with any massive size, so it's nothing crazy money, but I do like the trade, the little washout long back to pre-market support. So I'm looking for that same washout long today. Do we get a little bit of a washout, maybe back down to 1188? Do we start to find support, and do I get to take a long opportunity off of that support? So let's watch that. Let's see if Tesla holds at 1188 today, and then of course you probably get a move, a pretty big move if you just break these pre-market highs around 1210. I would assume you get a pretty big pre-market move or market open move if you break out of that high, maybe up to that gap fill level. So I would keep an eye on 1210 today, pre-market highs, 1216 gap fill level, and then to the downside I would watch 1188. And then you can also watch, you probably can throw in 1200 as well, just as the psychological level today, guys. So 1200, that's your psychological level, right? 1188 is the big level that needs to hold, and then you have your upside resistance. So those are some of the levels that I'm going to be watching today on Tesla. If I zoom out a little bit more, of course, we can just put a line up here at 1250. That is previous all-time highs. So that's Tesla today, guys. Let's see what happens. In my opinion, I think Tesla should pull back. I would like to see it pull back. It would make me more comfortable to see the pullback because I just don't want to I don't want us to get in a situation of just trying to chase this thing higher every day. I want to see, a nice consolidation, start to hold, start to push higher cleanly, rather than just vertical moves. Of course, I think we all want to see it just go straight up, but for the health of this stock, for the sake of us trying to build a strong move rather than just going vertical, I'd like to see maybe a little bit of consolidation today, pick up some buyers, and start to move higher again. Of course, I want to see it go higher because I have shares, but I would like to see it happen in a stronger manner, because if there is something I know about Tesla, it likes to fill gaps, and we just created a monster gap on this daily chart. And it's going to really suck when this thing wants to fill this gap, because that's another 11% to the downside. So I think at some point in the future we will see this gap be filled. I really do. But I don't know when. So I'm just, I think we would have all rather have seen this Tesla move happen at market open rather than a gap up, because we have now put this big gap on the daily chart. So that's Tesla, guys. Let's go ahead and move over to MasterCard. MasterCard is an absolute beast over the last 2 weeks. We have been watching MasterCard here, and we had a beautiful move. So congratulations to anyone that caught MasterCard on this move. This was nice. And we are now through, we're not quite through. What's the high of this candle? 371.07. 371.07. Let me go ahead and put that on the chart. 371.07. Did we get through that 371.07 yesterday? Let's take a look. Yeah, so we're stuck right at it, right? So we're stuck right at it. Right here, guys. You can see oh, wait a second. What happened here? Okay, yeah. 371.07. Right up here. You guys can clearly see that. Why is that level important? If I go to the 4 hour, that is this previous high right here. So MasterCard's right here at this previous high. If you get a break above this previous high, then maybe you can get a little bit of a move. But this is a little bit of an extended move yesterday for MA. I'd be a little bit cautious trying to chase this thing again through a potential resistance point. Let's see if it gives us a little bit of a pullback, maybe a little retest to these previous highs here, maybe a little pullback to here, retest, make a higher low, higher high, and then start to push off this, right? So I would like to see that. Maybe a little bit of a pullback today on MA. This was a pretty massive move for a stock like MasterCard. Look at this move on MasterCard, guys. This is like a Tesla move. This was not percentage-wise, but this was almost a 4% move on MasterCard yesterday. So big move. I would like to see something to the downside today, maybe down to these previous highs here. I'm just going to look at some structure points in the market from the prior day. So I'm going to look for some kind of support to come in on a pullback today as opportunity, and then see if we get that push through this 371. But right now on the daily chart, MasterCard's making a nice comeback. It might reject off this previous resistance. If it does not, then you're probably going to start seeing us push through, into the 380s. So definitely watch MasterCard today, guys. These things have been hot. Visa and MasterCard. Here's Visa. Very nice push as well yesterday. However, if I go to the 4-hour chart, you guys are going to see that we are at the same exact point. We're at the resistance level. So Visa and MasterCard have officially pushed into their resistance levels. Whereas when we were talking about them, we were saying, hey, you might be able to play this into this resistance level. Now we're at the resistance level. So, if you didn't catch it yet, you want to be a little bit cautious, because you're now going to try to chase it into resistance, which is not really the best thing to do. But you want to at least keep an eye on it for it, right? Because resistance. So Visa and MasterCard, both at very important resistance levels. However, the strength has clearly been there for an extended period of time. So I would keep an eye on this. See if this thing breaks through. Maybe it continues. SC got crushed this morning. I'm not sure the news, so we'll take a look at it. I'm really not sure what happened to it this morning. Pretty bad sell-off in the pre-market. All right, guys, XLV Healthcare. XLV Healthcare. So you guys know we got a big push on healthcare, right, over the last few days. From the downside to the upside, about 5% on a healthcare ETF. Take that in mind. That's a pretty big move on a healthcare ETF. Over the last few days, we've pulled back. Got some slippage here, which is probably pretty warranted. But what I will say is you're trying to hold these previous highs here. So if I break this down to the hourly chart, you guys can see that we went ahead and held these previous highs right around this 138. So 138, you can see pullback, hold there, 10-cent reduced its stake in SC, and that'll do it. So 139 on XLV, you guys can see it started to hold yesterday. The reason I'm watching XLV is because you guys know I still have these AbbVie contracts, which actually came back beautifully yesterday, surprisingly, because they were down pretty bad in the morning because of this XLV. Here's the XLV yesterday. You guys can see pretty vertical down to the downside move, starting to hold around this 138, 139, and then pushing higher. So XLV, a little bit of cool off on healthcare. However, keep an eye on this 138 area. Could be nice support. See if these healthcare moves continue. UNH, Abbott Labs, AbbVie, Pfizer. So Pfizer sort of rejecting. That's a little bit more biotech, but so UNH is the big one. So keep an eye on healthcare there. Let's see what happens this week on that. Apple, can't beat it, man. It's actually a prerequisite for being in the Discord chat. You have to have an Apple share. Just kidding, but I wish everyone would. So Apple 181 got through it yesterday, just off the back of being, a very strong name in this market, off the back of just the Nasdaq having some strength. You guys can see what did Apple do yesterday, which is so nice. You guys can see right here. I'll show you right now. You see how this 181 area was resistance? This is the voodoo magic right now, so pay attention to the voodoo magic. 181, resistance, and if you say that technicals are not real, then why did Apple perfectly turn this line that I just drew on the daily chart into support, and another beautiful support. So, I mean, Apple just clearly made resistance into support on the intraday chart absolutely perfectly. I mean, almost to the cent. I mean, if you zoom in here, I mean, this candle is literally to the cent of this line. Where the hell did it go? There it is. We're almost there. What are we off? We're off by a cent. So it missed it by a cent, unfortunately. But yeah. But what I'm trying to say is Apple, the fact that it turned that previous resistance into support yesterday is sick. It's awesome. It's everything that you want to see. It looks fantastic in the pre-market. And I would just watch this 180, 118 level, guys. If you see a pullback here, you're going to want to see some support come in again. Either way, Apple looks great. Watch these highs. Watch yesterday's highs as resistance. That's where we're at right now. And see if this thing can continue. But either way, guys, if you don't want to trade Apple shares, yeah, I'm still holding AbbVie. I'm still holding it. Either way, guys, if you don't want to trade options on Apple, just buy the shares, please. Please start setting yourself up for the future, man. If you're young, if you're under 20 years old and you're listening to this, the best thing you could possibly do for your life is to start buying shares. It's honestly the best thing ever. There's nothing more important than time. That's the most important factor, is time. Time is something that we cannot turn back. Time is the most valuable part of investing. If you have time on your side, you are at a huge advantage versus everyone else. Not trying to, make anyone unhappy about their age, but, if you're 65, years old, you only have, your time horizon really is 10 years, maybe 15, so that you can actually enjoy your money, or you want to, you'll be around for it. In good cases, 20, 30 years, of course, if you're 60. Hopefully you stay till, 90, 95, 100, of course, God willing. So, maybe it's a little bit longer. You could say it's 40 years at 60 years old, which would be crazy, but I don't think anyone really knows or cares about stocks when they're 100 years old. But if you're 18, if you're 19, if you're 20, I mean, you have so much time to compound your money over time. If you can just be on a religious schedule of investing in the market, you're a guaranteed millionaire. That's all it takes. So just a little bit of discipline is what it's all about. And I would love to do that with M1 Finance. Here's my ad. That's not an ad, because I'm not getting paid to do this. But M1 Finance, guys, is sick. So M1 right here. M1 Finance. So this is my M1 Finance account. And I just put in money into this account every single week. Every single week I put money into this account. And it's crazy how much it just goes already. I mean, I'm up 3.75% already. I have some losers, which I wish I didn't have as much into it. 19%. Actually, that's not right. Let me go to holdings. Here we go. So I'm down 10% on Coinbase, down 8% on Lulu, down 5% on Roblox, down 5% on Netflix, which sort of sucks, but that's okay. The big ones are Tesla, AbbVie, Apple, up 17% on Tesla, 10% on AbbVie, Apple, AMD, Home Depot, Caterpillar, Nvidia, Microsoft. So basically what happens here, guys, with M1 Finance, I put a certain amount of money every single week, and it automatically invests into these names. It does it all by itself. I don't need to do anything, and it automatically does it. So this is I think the best way to stay disciplined, to continue to invest into the market without touching anything, and making yourself stay consistent. Because I think it's I started this about 2 months ago. So we're obviously all of this value is from me adding money, but that's not that's to me that's cool, because that's just my money going into a safe spot that's actually returning something. So if you guys are interested, if you actually want to use this, yeah, I'm up $121. It's not about, if you guys come here and you're I'm not trying to brag about the gains that I have, guys. What I'm trying to show you is that you can invest into this account religiously for 30 to 40 years, 50 years, and this is a multi-million-dollar account before you know it. It's compounding interest. It's about putting your money into a yielding area where it can yield a return. And even if you just buy the SPY, the QQQ, that is so important. So not it's not an ad, but if you guys want to if you want to join, you get $50 if you join through my link. So I'll put it in the chat if you guys are interested. I get $50, you get $50, and it's a free $50. So there you go. If you want to start investing into your future, congratulations. It's fantastic in my opinion. Anyways, and you can also do portfolio loans. So I just took out a portfolio loan at 2%, or I was thinking about doing it at 2%. And I pay $3 a month, and I have a portfolio loan at 2%. The collateral is my portfolio, so it's awesome. Anyways, let's get back into business here. PayPal. So right here, guys, PayPal, you can see we started to get a little bit of push yesterday, right? And I think this is a very, very interesting watch, I have to say. 200 is the level I'm watching. 200 here on PayPal is my level. I'm going to wait to see if it breaks above that. But 200, yep, that's the level I'm going to watch. We'll see what happens. I like PayPal. You guys know I've talked about this a lot, so I'm not going to bore you once again. But just keep an eye on this thing. It found some support yesterday, finally. Nice little day yesterday for PayPal. Keep an eye on that. XLF. Here's the XLF ETF, and you guys can see it's starting to break out. A little bit of a flag breakout here, right here. You guys can see this. Hold on. It's starting to break out here. You can see downtrend, starting to push. Yesterday's candle, very nice push. And that is something that I want to keep an eye out for, because you can see stocks like JPM, big push higher yesterday. Big candle higher, big candle breakout on JPM. Goldman Sachs, another one. Very nice little Goldman Sachs breakout on the downtrend. So do these financials start to heat up? You guys know we have rising interest rates in the future. Do we start to see a heat up of these financials? That is something that I would definitely be watching, guys. Definitely have JPM, Goldman Sachs on your watch list today. You have to, because you need to see if this starts to wake up. This could be a very, very nice move and a very profitable move on the financials. So make sure to be watching those. Nvidia. Yeah, I'll take a look at TSM. It had a good day yesterday. So guys, this is what I'm talking about with Nvidia. Nvidia has just been lagging this move really, really bad. So Nvidia has just been stuck. It's stuck between 294 and 312. Until I see this move in either direction, I think you stay away from this. What do you want these videos to be, Kevin? Aren't these always technicals and market watch advice? What do you want them to be? I want to talk about the New York Rangers. I'll talk about the Rangers. So nice push. Want to see a push over 312 or under 294 to get a real direction, because Nvidia has been stuck sideways. So that's what I'd watch. I'd watch there on Nvidia. Both of these, this upside rejection and this downside support. Right now, though, you guys can see. Look at what Nvidia did yesterday. In a market that was pretty strong, Nvidia just traded sideways. It just traded sideways. So, Kevin, I'm going to run the live stream how I want it to. So, I mean, if you're going to come here and tell me how to run the live stream, I don't know what to tell you. So I apologize, but those comments are just... I'm going to run it. I think there's a very healthy mix of technicals and actual market advice, setting people up for their future, being, focusing on not just the short term, but also the long term. That's just crucial. Anyone that doesn't focus on their long-term portfolio is severely missing out. So Boeing, finally got above this 205 level. Right above this 205 level, you guys can see Boeing. All right, guys. You can take it easy on Kevin, but I mean, yeah, it's just not necessary. 205, 1, 2, 3 resistance, trying to break through as support. You got above that yesterday. However, I just still don't like Boeing. I just still don't like Boeing. I really don't. If you guys are someone that watches Boeing, I just really don't like it. Personally, I think it's dead money. To be honest, I think if you have money in Boeing, it's just been sort of sliding lower, and not really, yielding much. So until I see something really happen here on Boeing, I would say leave alone. But of course, I think a lot of people still watch this stock, right? I think a lot of people are still wishful and hopeful of one day this thing coming back to greatness. But right now, it's just a really ugly slide that I just don't see much value in. So you're gonna need to see, you're gonna have to see a push through 212, maybe 215, even this 230 area for me to really get interested here, because it's just really not doing much. So Boeing, it's waking up a little bit. Not something I would buy until I see a actual move here on this play. All right, guys. So that's what I have today. Let's go ahead and jump into what the members have for us. If you guys are a member of this YouTube channel, you have access to the Google Docs, which you can go ahead and put your tickers in. And we are going to go ahead and do that right now. So let's pull that up. All right, looks like we ran out of space today. But it looks like there's going to be some that I already went over. So I already did Tesla, I already did Nvidia, I already did Apple. And that's it. So now we got the rest. Here we go. All right, so D-Dog, T, Ford, Disney, Snow, IWM, JMIA, Airbnb, Procter & Gamble, and Oracle. Let's go ahead and run it. We're going to do this quick. So pay attention. If you put your stuff on here, make sure you're watching here. All right, D-Dog. I probably won't touch this until you get to the upper or lower limits of the channel. So if you're looking for upside, I would look for 154. If you're looking for downside, it's limited now. Can I trade live? I trade live every day with my Discord chat, John. I'm not scared. I don't know what I'd be scared of. So push lower. I don't trade live here on YouTube because it's just you get people like you that are just disrespectful. So I trade within the community that I help on a daily basis. So push lower 163. You don't have much margin to the downside here, so I'd be careful trading this to the downside just because there's not much left. However, it's possible to reach this 154. The bigger opportunity may be to trade this back up off this 154 hold. So a little bit of a channel. Be careful trading within a channel. You're going to want to probably trade it off either side of the channel rather than trying to catch it in between. I don't really like trading channels, when they're in between because it's so hard to judge the direction. It's all right, guys. I told this to my chat. If you come to my channel, I'm going to be respectful, but I'm not going to let the ridiculous comments flow through. That's not something that's going to be allowed here. So AT&T, nice push. Yeah, I mean, it's a nice push, but AT&T, that's the problem. It's AT&T, right? It's AT&T. So that's the problem. You are getting a nice push, and maybe you push into this 26 area. Maybe AT&T continues to have some momentum, as you've seen like Verizon be pretty strong as well. But I don't know. I have a hard time liking anything about AT&T, to be honest. Maybe you come up to these previous lows. Maybe this is where you start to hold or start to resist. So see if it comes into that 26 on AT&T. However, just know that you're trading a very slow-moving value dividend stock, and it's really not going to give you much growth. Ford looks great. Yeah, Ford looks killer. I mean, and it's probably warranted, right? Ford is coming back with some good products, EV stuff. So I mean, this is a pretty nice move. It's definitely strong through 2188. Is this? Yeah, no, it's okay. So we got plenty of. So where could we find? Yeah, right in this area, these previous lows, right, guys? You guys see these previous lows on the weekly? Maybe around this 2223. So be careful around this 2223. Be careful around that area as you push into that 2223. So that's a little bit concerning. What would be fantastic if you see this move on Ford? If you see this move on Ford, that would be a killer move. If you saw this pull back the previous resistance and turned it into support, that would be a killer move. So look for that. Look for the support to come in around 18 if it does pull back, or watch for that 23 resistance up there. Go back pretty far. You got to go back pretty far to see that previous resistance. Disney, I'm just going to say go watch my video from Sunday. That's going to give you more insight on this name. I'm going to move past Disney. Go watch my video on Sunday. I think Disney pushes back into 169 over time. Absolutely bullish on Disney. Snow has just been coiling, has been stuck, and the key level here is 325. So you either get a push through this downtrend or you get a rejection at this 325 for more downside. So just watch and wait. It's about waiting here on Snow. That's what it's all about. Just wait for that to actually show you the move there. IWM yesterday. IWM is stuck here. You guys can clearly see that. The resistance came in yesterday again. So here on the 4-hour chart, we are very stuck. Very, very stuck. So be careful, guys, on IWM. You need to get a push through this 226, 227. You can see right here. I don't want the arrows. Right here. You need to be careful of this previous resistance. So watch out for that 226, 227 on IWM. It might reject. It might, because look at what it's done in the past. So just be aware of that. See how the small caps performed today. JMIA, it was a stock that was great at one time, but these high growth, these names just are no longer interesting, guys. I would stay away from this. There's nothing here. There's absolutely nothing here. Please don't have your money here. Please don't look for trades here. I mean, this thing is pretty much dead. I mean, maybe you're going to get some random pops in the future, but yeah, don't, when you have Tesla going straight up, guys, there's no reason to be looking at JMIA. Airbnb has been sort of dormant lately. It's stuck under this 176. You guys can see right here. So if you can get a pop through this 176, 177, that would be what I'd be watching. You want to see a pop through these previous resistance. Resistance. You have to see a pop through that 176. That's the big level. Procter & Gamble on the daily chart. Yeah, looks pretty good. Procter XLP. So let's go to the 4-hour. 4-hour pulled back to the 50 SMA just like it did back here. What'd you say on this? Nice pullback on daily. Yeah, that's definitely a nice pullback. That's actually right to... Yeah, look at this, right to these previous highs. So let me go to the 15-minute. And I got to get a little bit more time here. There we go. Look at that. So pretty decent. Not the cleanest, but it's there, right? You can clearly see it. Pullback, previous resistance, trying to bounce that support there. So yeah, keep an eye on PG. You got some resistance up here, in the 163s, 164. So be aware of that. But nice hold. See if it starts to develop today. Last but not least, Oracle. What a terrible day for... Oh my God, look at these last few days on Oracle. Jeez. Yeah, that's pretty ugly. So it's... I remember us talking about this one, actually. Yeah, I remember us talking about this. It's just a falling knife. So wait until the falling knife is over. I mean, you got to wait till the falling knife is over here, guys. I mean, look at this last... Look at the hourly chart on this thing. Look at the last few weeks. It's just a terrible chart. So wait for the falling knife to be over. Maybe you find some support at this 87 area, but you need to be patient here. There's no reason to be buying this now. There's absolutely no reason to be trying to chase this thing now. Wait for a few green days at least. So be patient on Oracle. Definitely some upside. I see what you said. Hard stop at 88. But yeah, you got to see some bullishness first. All right, guys. I apologize for any of the spiciness today, but I don't like people talking. I don't like people coming here thinking they can talk however they want. That's just not how it should be. Let's be respectful. Let's be kind to each other. There's no reason to take shots at me or take shots at other people. That's it's just childish. So I don't like that. And when I see it, it gets my Italian blood flowing a little bit. So I apologized if I offended anyone, or if I, made you not think I'm, a nice person. I am. I just don't like when people say those things. So thank you guys. Thanks for being here. Hopefully you understand. I hope you enjoyed the live stream today. Hopefully give you some value, some technicals, some, market advice, some long-term investing advice as well. The reason I bring it up, guys, is because 2022, this is a great year to start. If you have not started a long-term portfolio, start it and start investing for your future. I know a lot of people, they're concerned about the market being too high to invest. It's too high, but you just have to dollar cost average. If you dollar cost average, you will be fine. If you buy now, if the market tanks, you have to keep buying. You don't stop buying when the market tanks. You got to keep buying. You got to bring your average down on shares. This is not apply for option contracts. This applies for shares. So if you have shares, if you're buying it now and the market tanks, let's say it drops 20% in the future, you got to keep buying. You don't stop. So make sure you have money that you can afford to trade, money that you can afford to invest. You have to continue to have an income coming in so that you can continue to dollar cost average into your stocks. As long as you can do that, there is nothing to be concerned about. As long as it's money that you can afford to invest with. It's not money that you need to go and use for rent, not money that you need to go pay your mortgage with. It's money that you can put aside for your future and start to invest. It's just the easiest and the most simple thing to set yourself up for the future. The thing that people fail to have is the discipline and the commitment to continue to invest. And that's where M1 comes in. I love that. And that's where any other automated broker comes in. So give it a thought, guys. It's 2022. Thank you guys for being here. Hopefully you enjoyed today's live stream. If you did, press the like button for me, please. Helps so much. It gives the live stream more exposure, gets it to more people. Subscribe if you're new, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace out.